What do you like to prepare for? Do you like to prepare to have guests for dinner? Do you like to prepare for cooking? Do you like to prepare for parties? For wrapping presents? For Christmas? For the advent, the arrival of Jesus? Well, that's what we're talking about in this series. Preparation. And I want you to think for a moment about Mary. Last week we looked at Zacharias and Elizabeth and how God prepared them for the arrival of John the Baptist, who was the forerunner to Jesus. But now I want us to think this week about Mary and how God prepared Mary, Jesus' mother, for the supernatural birth. So when we think about Mary, I would strongly encourage you to look at Luke chapter 1, verses 28 to 38. Let's think for a second here. Who is Mary? Mary is a teenage girl. She lives in Nazareth. She's engaged to a dude by the name of Joseph. And when we think about her, the angel Gabriel arrives to her and says, "Blessed are you and highly favored among men, among humanity." And Mary is like, "What? This is bizarre." If you think about it, a 13, 14-year-old girl being greeted by an angel, and she's like, "What are you smoking? That is bizarre." But the angel comes to her and announces and tells her, "Hey, you're going to have a supernatural pregnancy. You're going to conceive, and who you will bear, the person that you become pregnant with, will be the Savior of the world." And so there's preparation that goes in before Mary ever experiences pregnancy. And I really appreciate how God prepared her and her response to that preparation. So it's not only that God made her aware through the angel Gabriel and the announcement, but then God also said, "Look, you're going to be pregnant, supernatural pregnancy." And then God tells her, "Your cousin Elizabeth is also pregnant at this time." And so there's preparation that goes in so that Mary isn't just kind of caught unawares and caught off guard. She's made aware, and I really like what God does, because if you think about it, at this time in history, in this culture, a woman who is found pregnant out of wedlock, not a good scenario. Not a good scenario for her whatsoever. In fact, according to Jewish law, she should have been killed, should have been stoned. The way she responds to that preparation, I like what she says. She says, "May it be unto your bondservant according to your word." And she says to the angel Gabriel, "Whatever you're telling me, I agree with you, and I will let God have access to me so that I can be pregnant and carry the Savior of the world, have that little boy in my womb." And I like what God does. He prepares her, lets her know. She agrees with the preparation. But then God also prepares, because when she finds out about Elizabeth, her cousin, being pregnant, Mary goes quickly to Elizabeth, who lives in a totally different town. And as Mary is pregnant, and pregnant out of wedlock, she has a place prepared for her so that she wouldn't be shamed, ostracized, excluded, and potentially even killed for breaking the Jewish law. God prepared. God set up all of the things that Mary needed to look after her, to take care of her, so that she could carry Jesus safely in her womb and give birth to the Savior of the world. With all this preparation, we need to take a pause. I always like taking a pause, but especially a joke pause. And this joke, of course, you will love, probably more like groan. So, what kind of money do elves use? Right? Santa's elves, what kind of money do elves use? Elves use jingle bills. Jingle bells. I know, you kind of want to sing the song, Jingle Bell. No, Jingle Bills. All right, I know, pretty lame, but maybe next week will be better. You know, one of the things I love about God is He prepares. He knows all the tiny details, all the needs, all the things that have to go into place, all the provision, all the protection, all the environment, all the relationships, the connections. God knows all of those things, has all those preparations in line. And I think, like Mary, it is our job, our response. She models for us how to respond to God's preparations. May it be to me according to your word. I agree with you. I don't understand, and that's the other thing. We don't always have to understand everything to agree with God. We may not understand some of these scenarios, some of these situations, some of these relationships, some of these things that seem to be supernatural. I don't understand it all, but I don't have to understand everything to agree with God. I can still agree with God and not understand all of the particular details, pieces, parts, and how it all fits together. I like the way Mary responded because she trusted God, trusted in the goodness of God, the provision of God, the protection of God, and she agreed with God and said, yep, I'll do as you have told me. I will agree with you and let you put Jesus in me to be the Savior of the world, all humanity. So as we think about preparation, we're going to continue this series next week. Last week we talked about Zacharias. Next week we're going to talk about a brand new person and how God continues to prepare for the arrival of Jesus.